She stole the crown. The village square went dead silent. Chima stepped forward, her voice shaking with rage as she pointed at Ada. Gasps exploded through the crowd. Mothers whispered. Men shouted. Ada froze. Her heart slammed against her chest. Every eye turned on her. The girl she trusted. The friend she grew up with. The one who promised nothing would ever come between them. Had just turned the entire village against her. But the guards grabbed her arms. The crowd watched. Some spat. Some cursed. Ada cried out, "Chima, please." Chima stood silently, watching. The girl who once promised forever was now her accuser. Ada was dragged away in chains. She was my best friend, until she became my frenemy. In the heart of eastern Nigeria, far away from the noise of big cities, there was a peaceful village called Umudike. Umudike was the kind of village where the mornings smelled of fresh palm wine, where children ran barefoot on red soil, where elders sat under giant trees discussing life, and where everyone knew everyone. It was a simple place, a quiet place, a place where friendship was considered sacred. And in this village, two girls were known by all. Their names were Ada and Chima. Ada and Chima were not sisters by blood, but they were sisters by heart. From the day they could walk, they walked together. From the day they could talk, they talked together. They fetched water together. They climbed trees together. They even got punished together. If you saw Ada, you would definitely see Chima. People in the village would laugh and say, "These two girls are like wrapper and blouse. You can't separate them." Ada was gentle, the kind of girl who would share her last piece of mango with someone else. Chima was bold, the kind of girl who always spoke her mind and wanted attention. But somehow, their differences made them stronger. Ada brought peace. Chima brought fire. And together, they were unstoppable. Every evening after chores, they would run to their favorite spot, a big mango tree beside the river. That mango tree was their secret world. It was where they shared dreams, secrets, and promises. One evening, as the orange sun melted into the sky, Ada lay on the grass and sighed happily. Chima sat up, chewing sugarcane. Then Chima suddenly said, "Ada, what do you want to become when we grow up?" Ada smiled. "I want to become someone the village can be proud of. Someone who helps people." Chima laughed loudly. "Help people? That is your dream?" Ada turned her head. "Yes. What about you?" Chima's eyes sparkled. "Me? I want to be great. I want to be powerful. I want people to bow when I pass." Ada giggled. "Bow ke? Chima you in power." Chima leaned closer. "Ada, don't you want to be important?" Ada sat up slowly. "Importance is not in people bowing. It is in doing good." Chima rolled her eyes. "You always talk like an elder." Ada laughed. But Chima was not joking. Not at all. That evening, a cool breeze passed through the mango leaves. Ada suddenly became serious. She held Chima's hands tightly. "Chima, promise me something." Chima blinked. "What is it?" Ada's voice was soft but deep. "Promise me that no matter what happens in this life, we will never turn against each other." Chima frowned. "Why would I ever turn against you?" Ada swallowed. "Because life changes people. Sometimes jealousy enters friendship." Chima scoffed. "Jealousy? Between us? Never." Ada insisted. "Promise me." Chima sighed dramatically, then smiled. "Okay, I promise. Even if the whole village becomes our enemy, I will remain your best friend forever." Ada smiled with relief. They hugged under the mango tree. And in that moment, their friendship felt unbreakable. But, unknown to them, that promise would soon be tested. Years passed. Ada and Chima grew into beautiful young women. Their friendship still looked strong. But something was changing in Umudike. Something big. One morning, the village gong sounded loudly. Gong, gong, gong. People rushed out of their homes. Women tied wrappers quickly. Men gathered at the square. Ada and Chima ran there too. At the center stood the oldest elder, Elder Nwosu, with a face full of seriousness. He raised his staff, and the village became silent. Then he spoke. People of Umudike, the time has come, everyone murmured. He continued, our queen is weak. Her reign is coming to an end. Gasps filled the air. The queen of Umudike was not just a ruler. She was a symbol. Elder Nwosu raised his voice. Soon, Umudike will choose a new royal princess. The village exploded. A new princess? Who will it be? Chima's eyes widened. Ada's heart beat fast. Then Elder Nwosu said something that changed everything. This time, the crown will not go by blood. Silence. It will go by, people whispered. He announced, the girl with the purest heart, the kindest spirit, and the wisdom of a queen, shall be chosen. Ada felt chills. Chima's lips slowly curled into a smile. A dangerous smile. As they walked home, Chima could not stop talking. Ada, did you hear that? Ada nodded. Yes, it is shocking. Chima grabbed her arm. A princess. Imagine me wearing the crown. Ada stopped walking. Chima continued excitedly. Imagine people kneeling before me. Imagine my name being praised. Ada looked at her carefully. Chima, the crown is not for praise. It is for service. Chima's smile faded slightly. Service or not, I want it, Ada said softly. Then may the best heart win. Chima stared at her. Something passed through her eyes. Something small, but dark. Then she laughed. Of course, the best heart. But inside her mind, a voice whispered, that crown must be mine. That night, Ada slept peacefully. But Chima lay awake, staring at the ceiling, thinking, dreaming, hungering, because the crown had entered the village, and with it, the seed of rivalry. And sometimes, the person who smiles with you is the one secretly competing with you. The village of Umudike had not been this alive in years, ever since Elder Nwosu made the announcement that a new royal princess would soon be chosen. The entire village changed. It was as if the air itself carried tension. Women whispered in the markets. Men argued in the village square. Young girls suddenly started behaving like queens overnight. Because everyone knew, this crown was not ordinary. It was not about beauty. It was not about wealth. It was about character. And deep down, every young woman in Umudike wanted it. Especially Chima. The village begins to watch. From that day, the elders started observing the girls closely. They watched how they spoke, how they treated people, how they behaved when nobody was looking. The village became like a stage, and everyone was acting. Some girls began pretending to be kind. Others forced smiles they did not mean. But Ada did not pretend. She remained the same gentle soul she had always been. One morning, Ada was walking back from the stream, when she saw an old widow, Mama Azine, struggling with firewood. The woman's hands were shaking. Her knees looked weak. Ada quickly dropped her bucket. Mama, please let me help you. Mama Azine protested. No, my child. I don't want to disturb you. Ada smiled warmly. You are not disturbing me. You are my mother. She lifted the heavy wood onto her own head and walked Mama Azine home. People saw it. They whispered, that girl has a good spirit. She behaves like royalty already. Later that day, Chima sat outside her mother's hut, braiding her hair aggressively. Ada approached happily. Chima, guess what happened today? Chima forced a smile. What? Ada said excitedly. Mama Azine was struggling, so I helped her carry firewood. Chima nodded slowly. Ada blinked. Is that all you will say? Chima shrugged. Ada, everybody is helping people now. It's not special. Ada's smile faded slightly. Helping people should always be special. Chima stood up. Just don't start thinking you are already a princess. Ada froze. Chima, why would you say that? Chima quickly laughed. I'm just joking. But Ada could feel it. Something was changing. Her best friend's jokes were beginning to sting. A few days later, the village gathered again for a festival. Drums played. Children danced. The elders sat in a row, watching. Ada moved around quietly, serving food to visitors. She poured palm wine respectfully. She greeted elders with humility. Elder Nwosu noticed. He leaned toward another elder and said, That Ada. Her heart is rare. Unfortunately, Chima was standing nearby, and she heard it. Her fingers tightened around the cup she was holding. Her jaw clenched. Inside her chest, something hot began to burn. Envy. That night, Ada and Chima returned to their mango tree by the river, just like old times. But it didn't feel the same. Ada sat down softly. Chima, do you feel like we are drifting? Chima stared at the river. Drifting how? Ada hesitated. You don't laugh with me anymore. You snap at me. Chima scoffed. So now I'm the bad one? Ada quickly shook her head. No, that's not what I mean. Chima stood up suddenly. Ada, let me ask you something. Ada looked up. What? Chima's eyes were sharp. Do you want the crown? Ada was silent. Then she answered honestly. If the elders choose me, I will accept. But I am not chasing it. Chima laughed bitterly. That is the biggest lie people tell. Everyone wants it. Ada stood too. Chima, we promised each other. No matter what happens. Chima interrupted. Don't start with that promise again. Ada's voice broke slightly. Chima, you are my sister. Chima looked away. Sisters don't compete. Ada whispered. Then why does it feel like we are? Chima didn't answer, but her silence was loud. One afternoon, a small boy fell from a palm tree near the market. He screamed in pain. People panicked. Some ran away. Some shouted. Ada rushed forward immediately. She knelt beside him. Don't worry. You will be fine. She tore part of her wrapper gently to wrap his bleeding leg. She carried him on her back to the herbal healer. The boy's mother cried. Thank you. Thank you, Ada. The crowd murmured. She is truly kind. She has the heart of a queen. Chima arrived late and saw everyone surrounding Ada like she was already royalty. Chima's eyes darkened. She forced a smile, but inside, her heart screamed, why is it always Ada? That evening, Chima visited an old woman on the edge of the village. Her name was Auntie Omaleha. People avoided her. They said she spoke too much poison. They said she could plant hatred with words. Chima entered quietly. The old woman smiled slowly. Ah, the ambitious one has come. Chima swallowed. I need advice. Auntie Omaleha leaned forward. About the crown? Chima's eyes widened. How did you know? The old woman chuckled. A girl doesn't come here unless her heart is restless. Chima whispered. They are already choosing Ada. Auntie Omaleha nodded slowly. Then you must act before it is too late. Chima frowned. Act how? The old woman's voice dropped like a snake in grass. Sometimes, you don't remove the crown. She smiled. You remove the person wearing it. Chima froze. Her breathing stopped. No, Ada is my friend. Auntie Omaleha laughed softly. Friend? Or obstacle? Chima's lips trembled. But she did not leave. She stayed. And that was the moment. The seed of betrayal began to grow. That night, Ada slept peacefully, dreaming of nothing but tomorrow. But Chima sat alone in darkness, hearing Auntie Amalika's words echo, "Remove the person wearing it." And for the first time, Chima looked at her best friend, not as a sister, but as a rival. The village of Umudike had entered the most dangerous season of all. Not the season of rain, not the season of harmattan, but the season when human hearts begin to change. Because when power is near, friendship is tested, and envy becomes a spirit that whispers into the ears of the weak. Chima was no longer sleeping well. Every night, she tossed on her mat, hearing the same words again and again. "Remove the person wearing it." She tried to shake it off. She tried to pray. She tried to remember Ada's laughter, their childhood, their promise under the mango tree. But the truth was, the crown had become an obsession, and Ada was standing too close to it. The final announcement day. One bright morning, the village gong rang louder than ever before. Gong! 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 People rushed out of their houses. Children ran. Women tied wrappers quickly. Men gathered in the village square. Everyone knew. Today was the day. Ada stepped out of her hut quietly, her heart pounding. Chima stepped out too, but her face was unreadable. At the village square, the elders sat in a long row. In the center, on a red velvet cloth, was the sacred royal crown of Umudike. Gold, heavy, ancient, powerful. The crowd murmured in awe. Elder Nwosu stood up slowly. His voice carried weight. "People of Umudike." Silence fell. For weeks we have watched. We have listened. We have observed the hearts of our daughters. Everyone held their breath. Ada's palms were sweating. Chima's jaw was clenched. Elder Nwosu raised his staff. "The next princess of Umudike is..." The air froze. Then he said, "Ada." For a moment, Ada thought she didn't hear correctly. Then the village erupted. "Ihaya! Ada! Princess Ada!" Drums began to beat wildly. Women ululated. Children danced. Ada's knees almost gave way. Tears filled her eyes. She whispered, "Me?" The elders smiled. Elder Nwosu nodded. "Yes, my daughter. Your heart has spoken louder than words." Ada stepped forward slowly, like someone walking into a dream. The crown was lifted and gently placed on her head. At that moment, Ada became royalty. But as the village cheered, Ada turned her head, searching. She wanted to see only one person. Chima, her best friend, her sister. She found her. Chima was clapping, smiling, but her eyes were not smiling. They were burning. The cold congratulations. After the celebration, Ada ran toward Chima with excitement. "Chima, Chima!" Chima opened her arms. Ada hugged her tightly. "My friend, I can't believe it." Chima's voice was soft. Too soft. "Congratulations, Ada." Ada pulled back, smiling. "Thank you. This changes nothing between us, right?" Chima stared. Then she forced a laugh. "Of course not, Princess." Ada blinked. "Don't call me that. Just call me Ada." Chima smiled again, but it was sharp. "No, you are no longer just Ada." Ada's smile faded slightly. "Chima." Chima stepped back. "Enjoy your crown?" Then she walked away. Ada stood frozen. The crown felt heavy, not because of gold, but because of what it was doing to her friendship. The beginning of the poison. Days passed. Ada began royal training. She learned wisdom, leadership, service. She moved through the village with humility. But something strange began happening. People started whispering. When Ada passed, some villagers avoided her eyes. Some stopped talking suddenly. Ada noticed. One afternoon, Ada approached a group of women. They fell silent immediately. Ada frowned. Mothers, did I do something wrong? One woman forced a smile. No, princess. It's nothing, but Ada could feel it. Something was wrong. That evening, Ada visited Chima. She found her outside, grinding pepper. Chima, can we talk? Chima didn't look up. About what? Ada sat beside her. People are acting strange. I feel like something is being said about me. Chima shrugged. Maybe they are finally seeing the real you. Ada's heart skipped. The real me? Chima turned slowly. Her eyes were cold. Ada, don't pretend you are innocent. You always wanted this. Ada's voice trembled. Chima, why are you talking like this? Chima scoffed. Because you took what was meant for me. Ada gasped. I didn't take anything. The elders chose. Chima leaned closer. You think I don't know how these things work? Ada stood up. Chima, you are my best friend. Chima stood too. Best friend? She laughed bitterly. Friends don't steal destinies. Ada's eyes filled with tears. Chima, please. But Chima turned away. And Ada walked home with a broken heart. 1 week later, something terrible happened. The sacred crown disappeared. That morning, the palace shrine was open. The cloth was empty. The crown was gone. The village exploded into panic. The elders shouted. Warriors searched. Women cried. Elder Nwosu thundered. This is an abomination. Ada stood shaking. How can the crown vanish? The whole village gathered. Anger filled the air. Then suddenly, a voice screamed. It was Ada. Everyone turned. It was Chima. Ada froze. What? Chima was crying dramatically. I saw her. I saw Ada enter the shrine at midnight. The crowd gasped. Ada stepped back. Chima, what are you saying? Chima pointed accusingly. She stole the crown. She wants all the power for herself. Ada's mouth fell open. No. Chima, why would you lie? Chima cried louder. Ask her. The villagers murmured angrily. So she is wicked. We trusted her. Ada shook her head violently. I didn't do it. Chima, please. Tell them the truth. Chima's eyes met Ada's. And for a second, Ada saw it. Not sadness. Not betrayal. Hatred. Pure hatred. Elder Nwosu raised his staff. Ada, until the crown is found, you will be held. Ada screamed. No, elders, I am innocent. But the guards grabbed her arms. The crowd watched. Some spat. Some cursed. Ada cried out, Chima, please. Chima stood silently, watching. The girl who once promised forever was now her accuser. Ada was dragged away in chains. That night, in a dark hut, Ada sat alone. Tears ran down her cheeks, and she whispered the most painful words of her life. She was my best friend, until she became my frenemy. Chima returned home that night, and for the first time, she smiled peacefully, because Ada was falling, and she believed she was winning. But the gods of Umudike do not sleep forever. That night, the village of Umudike was quieter than it had ever been. Not because there was peace, but because there was fear. The sacred crown was missing. The royal shrine had been violated. And the newly chosen princess, Ada, was sitting in chains like a criminal, inside the dark holding hut. Ada's wrists ached. Her eyes were swollen from crying. She stared at the floor, whispering again and again, Why, Chima? Why? The same Chima who once shared her food, the same Chima who once promised her loyalty, was now the reason she was suffering. Ada pressed her back against the wall. Her voice broke. God, please fight for me, because I have nobody left. Outside, the village was already turning against her. People who once shouted Princess Ada now whispered, she fooled us. She was never pure. Power has exposed her. But the truth was, Ada was innocent. And deep in the shadows, the gods of Umudike were watching Chima's false victory. Meanwhile, in her mother's compound, Chima sat calmly. Too calmly. Her mother entered, worried. Chima, is it true? Ada stole the crown. Chima sighed dramatically. Mama, I wish it was a lie. But I saw her myself. Her mother frowned. But she is your friend. Chima's eyes hardened. Mama, friendship does not stop evil. Her mother nodded slowly, still uncertain. But Chima smiled inside, because everything was going according to plan. Ada was disgraced. The village was confused. And soon, the elders would have no choice but to remove Ada and choose someone else. Someone like Chima. That night, Chima slept like a baby. For the first time in weeks, she slept peacefully, because envy had finally tasted victory. Or so she thought. The gods began to speak. 3 days passed. The crown was still missing. The village grew restless. Elder Nwosu called an emergency gathering. The elders sat with serious faces. This matter is beyond human understanding, Elder Nwosu said. The crown cannot simply vanish. Another elder spoke. If Ada is guilty, let the gods expose her. And so, they decided to perform the ancient ritual of truth. At midnight, they gathered at the shrine. They lit sacred herbs. Smoke rose into the sky. The chief priest prayed, Spirits of Umudike, reveal the truth. Let the liar be exposed. The wind blew strangely. The fire crackled. And suddenly, the priest paused. His eyes widened. He whispered, The crown is not far. The elders leaned forward. What do you mean? The priest's voice shook. The one who accuses is the one who hides it. Silence. Then, a loud gasp. Impossible. But the gods had spoken. The next morning, a small boy named Obina came running into the village square. His chest was heaving. Elders, elders. People turned. Elder Nwosu frowned. What is it, child? Obina pointed wildly. I saw something. I saw Chima near the river at night. The crowd murmured. Chima? Obina nodded quickly. Yes. She was digging under the big Iroko tree. Hiding something. The elders exchanged glances. Elder Nwosu stood up sharply. Take us there, now. Chima, who was standing nearby, froze. Her face turned pale. What nonsense is this? But nobody listened. The villagers followed Obina. Straight to the riverbank. The shocking discovery. Under the Iroko tree, the ground looked disturbed. Fresh soil. Elder Nwosu raised his staff. Dig. The men began digging quickly. Chima's breathing became heavy. Her hands trembled. Then, clang. Something metallic hit the shovel. The crowd gasped. The elders leaned closer. And slowly, they pulled it out. Wrapped in cloth, covered in dirt, was the sacred royal crown. The village froze. For 1 second, nobody spoke. Then suddenly, chaos erupted. Eh? The crown. It was here. All eyes turned slowly to Chima. Chima stepped back, her lips shaking. No. Elder Nwosu's voice thundered. Chima. Chima fell to her knees instantly. Elders, I can explain. The chief elder roared. You accused an innocent girl. Chima cried. I didn't mean for it to go this far. The villagers shouted angrily. Traitor. Snake. Frenemy. Chima sobbed loudly. I was jealous. I was angry. I wanted the crown. Eldon Wosu's eyes burned with disappointment. So you destroyed your own best friend? Because of envy? Chima covered her face. I'm sorry. But sorry could not undo betrayal. Ada is freed. The guards ran quickly to release Ada. When Ada stepped out, she looked weak, broken. Her eyes were tired. She walked slowly into the square. The villagers went silent. Ada saw the crown in Eldon Wosu's hands. Then she saw Chima on her knees. Ada's breath caught. Chima. Chima looked up, tears streaming. Ada, forgive me. Ada stared at her. The same girl who once hugged her now looked like a stranger. Ada's voice was soft. Why? Chima cried, because I couldn't stand watching you shine. Ada's tears fell. But I never wanted to outshine you. I wanted us to shine together. Chima shook violently. Envy blinded me. Ada turned her face away. Because some wounds, even forgiveness cannot erase. The punishment. Eldon Wosu stood tall. Chima, you have committed the greatest crime of all. Not stealing the crown, but betraying a pure friendship. The elders decided immediately. You will be banished from Umudike forever. The village gasped. Chima screamed, No. Please. But the decision was final. That evening, Chima walked out of the village alone. No drums. No farewell. No friend. Just silence. As she reached the edge of Umudike, she looked back one last time and whispered, I lost my best friend because I wanted her crown. Then she disappeared into the night. The final lesson. Ada was restored as princess. The crown returned to her head. The village apologized. But Ada's heart was not the same. She stood again under the mango tree, alone, and she whispered, Not everyone close to you is for you. Sometimes your biggest enemy is the friend who knows all your secrets. The wind blew gently, and the mango leaves rustled, like the spirits agreeing. Envy can turn love into hatred. Jealousy can destroy lifelong friendship. Not every friend is truly happy when you succeed. She was my best friend, until she became my frenemy. So my people, have you ever had a friend who secretly wanted to bring you down? Drop your experience in the comments. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share so you don't miss our next stories.